first off, how did this get started? Where did this idea come from? Because this is spectacular. Welcome to Mornings on Main Street, Murfreesboro. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Coming up, I'm going to introduce you to Friday, the pet therapy dog bringing smiles and joy to not only patients at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford, but to families and the staff there at the hospital. After that, I will introduce you to the honoree of this year's Wine Around the Square event happening on Saturday from 6 to 9. Wine Around the Square is a 100% fundraising event for Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Power of Pink Fund. The Power of Pink Fund has provided over 25,000 potentially life-saving mammograms to women in Rutherford County. This year's honoree for the event is not only one of the hospital's own nurses, she is also a 5-year breast cancer survivor. We'll also have Monty Hill with our Sports Minute and more coming up in today's show.
It's the biggest racing show of the year, Friday through Sunday, November 3rd through 5th at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. 6 fast-paced divisions of racing on the quarter-mile Friday night, pole qualifying and 3 big feature events Saturday night, and the Curb Records Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers All-American 400 on Sunday afternoon. Racing starts at 6:30 Friday, 5 o'clock Saturday, and 1 o'clock Sunday. Tickets available at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.racing or at the gate on race day. It's the 39th All-American 400 weekend, Friday through Sunday, November 3rd through 5th. Get your tickets now.
Derryberry's Heat and Air has been proudly serving the Middle Tennessee area for over 35 years. We have been voted Sumner County's best heat and air company for the past 8 years. For outstanding service, call Derryberry's at 615-452-8121.
When it comes to insurance, you want a name you can trust. Wendy Danielle Stack is here to help. With over 7 years of experience, Danielle and her team are here to assist you in finding the right coverage for all of your needs. From auto and home to life and business insurance, we have customized options for everyone. We'll work with you to create a personalized plan that protects everything in your life that matters most. Call today and see for yourself why Danielle Stack is the go-to insurance agent in Clarksville.
I'm Dr. Webb. I'm the owner and operator of Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both.
I meet with patients who are ready to schedule surgery. We talk about their pre-op appointments, what to expect before surgery, what to expect during and after surgery.
We graduated medical school and nursing school the same day, and I had things that I believed in and stood by that I wasn't willing to compromise on. So when he came home, we had to discuss that we were on the same page with how we treated patients and staff. We want them to feel like they're part of our family.
As we talked about at the top of the show, October has been Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and there is a big event coming here to Rutherford County in Murfreesboro. It is the Wine Around the Square happening this weekend. So tomorrow on Friday, we have a number of segments for you centered around breast cancer treatment and awareness. But today we are going to highlight something that brings comfort, a little bit of distraction, and that is pet therapy, which is being used by more hospitals and other areas to where they need just a little bit of comfort at different times. To talk to us about the work that Friday right here does with Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford, we have Vicki Baldwin with us, and again Friday with us. Vicki, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
How important is it to have maybe therapy in a hospital setting? Therapy?
I think it's very important. People, you know, if you've been in the hospital, you are stressed, you're anxious, you're bored sometimes. Having a dog walk into the hall or walk into your room is like the ultimate distraction and comfort. Sometimes if you're a family, you're waiting for somebody to get out of surgery, or if you have just if you've just lost a family member and a dog comes in, it's, again, just a furry, loving comfort.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've been working with Friday now. She's been doing this since right after COVID, but
Yes.
you started, her first visit was right
did.
before.
Right before COVID. We got one visit in here at St. Thomas, and then COVID hit and we had to stop for a while. But we've been back pretty regularly since mid-2021.
Gotcha.
And we try to come every Friday.
And being the name of Friday, coming on Fridays. I love what
Yes.
you were sharing with me about the staff and kind of
Yeah.
what Friday brings to staff members at hospitals for the nurses.
Well, the same as they tell us at Habit that it's just as much for the staff as it is for the patients, which is true. They're stressed. They see everything all day long. They are, worked long hours. They're tired. When a dog comes onto the hall, and comes behind the nurse's station or whatever, they get to just kind of for a minute take a little brain break and just pet a dog.
Right.
And she loves it. She knows, she'll lay on the floor and let 15 people pet her at once, and she's totally okay with that. And it just makes their day too.
She seems to have a knack for recognizing, I guess, energy is what you could call it.
Yes.
And you share that with us. While you're
Yeah,
talking
there's
about
been a
that.
couple of times when she has sat outside of a closed door, and I didn't know what was going on in that room, and I wasn't going to just walk in. Sometimes we do knock. Buddy, look. But she would sit outside of a closed door, and I'm like, okay, something's going on in this room. And every single time, if I knock and ask if we can come in, it's a family who's just lost a loved one, or a family who is waiting for a major surgery to be over. And it's like she just knows.
Right.
It's something, and I wouldn't know. There's no way I would know that. So.
What about your work in hospice care?
Yeah, we did. We started out at a live hospice here in Murfreesboro, actually, in 2019. And same thing, when we go there, a live hospice is not a huge place, so there's not as many people as there are here in the hospital, so it's easier for us to just go into every single room and spend a little time. Mostly, obviously with hospice, it's for the family, but there are a lot of times that the patient is, alert and can interact with her, and there have been a lot of times when a hospice patient has not reacted or moved for days, and then when Friday comes in, suddenly they open their eyes. There's been a lot of stories like that. So we're just happy to be a part of that.
That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If someone out there would like to connect with Habit, how can they do that?
It's Human Animal Bond in Tennessee. They're on Facebook. They are part of the UT Knoxville Veterinary School.
Okay.
So if you just search for Human Animal Bond in Tennessee, and in parentheses it will say Habit, Habit. There's a phone number on there and an email. Just send them a message and say, hey, I might be interested. They, for us, they had somebody meet us in Nashville and then just did a temperament test for her to make sure she was, basic obedience plus not afraid of wheels and noises and beeps and things like that. And a lot of that just came from me taking her to Home Depot and Lowe's and outdoor concerts and getting her used to just every noise possible. And now nothing phases her, except every once in a while when the pneumatic tube falls behind the nurse's station, she'll be like,
What was that?
that's about it. But yeah.
So if you are, if you're an organization out there, if you're a school or maybe a hospital and you're not using a therapy dog or pet therapy and you have that interest, reach out to Habit and see what they have. Is there any other advice that you would have for people looking to maybe bring in a therapy dog?
If you have a personal dog that you think would make a good therapy dog, make sure that they are comfortable with all ages, all the way down to infants that might pull their ears or, tail or whatever. Make sure that they are just, like I said, okay with different noises, different situations. Because you're going to be in a situation where if you're in a nursing home, somebody might be loud or dropping things. And you just have to kind of be comfortable with everything. And that just comes from exposure.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you, Vicki, so much for sharing this information,
Sure.
for enlightening us on therapy dogs. Thank you, Friday, for sitting here with us.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-855-844-0445.
At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pets to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out, he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, Wine Around the Square is this Saturday. All proceeds will be going back to help in the fight against breast cancer. To talk more about breast cancer and what someone goes through in their battle, we have Gay Enzi with us. She is with Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford. She has been a nurse for 47 years working with patients. So first off, Gay, thank you so much for sitting down with me on this topic.
You're so welcome.
Let's talk about, first off, your battle. You had a 5-year battle or you've been 5 years breast cancer free. Mm-hmm. What is this past 5 years? What has that been like for you?
Well, when you first get your diagnosis, it can be a little overwhelming. I have to say, I did not feel totally devastated. I felt like it was a journey that myself and my family, my coworkers were going to take, and I felt very comfortable where I was going to go with that mission and that journey, because being at the same facility with the same people for that long, I knew my surgeons, I knew my anesthesia group. I'd worked hand in hand with all of them, so I picked my surgery crew. I picked right down to the circulator, the person passing the instruments. I picked them all. And I know that everybody doesn't have that opportunity and that comfortability, but there are resources out there, and I always strive to let people know, use your nurse navigators, use your physicians once you've chose a physician for that route. But I was very comfortable accepting that journey. And then I had bilateral mastectomy and reconstruction surgery, finished that up, which would be 5 years this December. And I've been cancer-free. I still continue to visit my oncologist and the surgeon every 6 months, which is recommended, just to be sure that you as the patient are not missing anything, any symptoms or anything. And so I continued to do that, just 5 years free, lost about 2 weeks ago. And I will continue, according to my oncologist, once a year to continue to have lab work and have an exam in the office. And those are really smart things to do to continue to make sure that you pick up on anything as soon as possible, which is the smart thing to do with cancer, because it can grow really fast sometimes.
100%. And Gay, you've been, you've you've been a nurse for 47 years. You've worked with patients. Your perspective from what you were sharing, it was a little different from other people that come in. Can you share with us your perspective on that diagnosis? What you've seen and heard throughout the years and how you use that to stay positive.
I think one plus was not only had I had experienced it and went the journey with patients, my mother had breast cancer almost the same age that I did. And at that time, she was in her 80s and had been cancer-free for over 20 years. My younger sister had also had breast cancer. They both had went through the same surgeries that I did. My mom did have to do chemotherapy. So it was a little bit harder on her. We went all that route. So that was one blessing. I was not recommended to have chemotherapy. But the firsthand experience, and that's what I really want to stress to folks that get that first diagnosis, that first awareness is something wrong, is yes, you have to be fearful, but also know that you are not alone. You have so many ladies have gone through that. And probably if you mentioned it to anybody in your friends or your family, they're going to say, oh yeah, my sister had breast cancer and she's doing great. There's just so many really good stories out there that people are willing to share because they want you to have the best care that you can have from that diagnosis.
Having this in your family, in your family history, when did you start your early detection?
I started at 40.
Okay.
And you can start earlier. With my younger sister having it, we have girls, lots of girls in our family, and they've all started around 42, just because it's just the smart thing to do, so that you pick up on early diagnosis cannot be talked about enough, and raised awareness is so important.
Walking with Gay through the hospital, you know how special she is to those here. And let me tell you, not one person walked past her without, saying hello, saying good morning. And you can tell, and I've been told, she really is the light and advocate for what this hospital does. This process can be challenging. What else can you say to those women who get that diagnosis and they're going in for that first treatment, and they're uneasy and they're worried?
Well, you have to have a lot of faith. You have to have faith in your physician. You have to have faith in the people that are working with you. You have to believe in them. And I have a lot of faith in God. And I know that's not there for everybody, but it certainly was for me. But seek out to your closest people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I guess my first enlightening was I couldn't do everything by myself, especially those first 2 weeks, because with some of the surgeries that you have, you're not allowed to raise your arms. You have to be a T-Rex. And so that was kind of enlightening when my surgeon finally said, after about 3 weeks, you can get your milk out of the refrigerator now. So, and my daughter, and my son's family, and my husband, they were right there. My husband probably fixed my coffee for the first time. In all of our almost 50 years.
Oh, wow.
So
about time. No.
So you do have to, reach out to help. And that's very humbling, especially if you're somebody that's very take charge and we're going to get this done, but you will have to rely on other people. And I can't stress that enough. And I can't stress your nurse navigators enough. There's some good people, and they've been that story with so many people. They can help you a lot.
Wine Around the Square has been going on now for 12 years. This is the first year that Wine Around the Square and Adkinson has honored one of their own here at the hospital. The honoree this year is Gay. What was that like when they shared that with you? Like, we would like to honor you this year.
Well, I was a little leery. I said, that's a lot of limelight, and I've been here a while. Like Stefanie said, a lot of people know me, and I do feel like most days I represent Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford very well, and I try. But I was a little bit, people know me. That's, they're going to say, what are you doing today? What are you doing now? So I was a little bit leery, but it has been a great journey. That I was asked back, I guess, maybe the last of July or August, and there's been a few times that some of my friends said, I saw you in the paper. I saw you in the paper again. But my mission is to raise awareness for the ladies that are out there that feel like they don't have anybody to rely on, and they don't understand the importance of the early diagnosis, and that they can get a mammogram regardless of being insured, uninsured, underinsured. They can have a mammogram, and St. Thomas Ascension will definitely help them with that.
And that is where the proceeds will go, to continue to help, those women get those mammograms and that early detection. Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford, an incredible hospital doing great things from what we're learning. And we're going to hear more on today's show. We're going to hear from a nurse navigator, a breast cancer nurse navigator. We'll also hear from a surgeon on the latest in treatments and early detection. Gay, thank you so very much. And you've gotten a lot of people to help out this coming up Saturday.
We have. Those volunteers are out there. I went back to the floor that I work on here in the hospital, and to all of my friends that speak to me every day in the hallway, and I said, you will be volunteered around the square to help this. Yes, ma'am, we will. So
we will.
It's been great.
Gay, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
No, I think it's good. I hope I've enlightened people that there are people out there, and just be brave and consider it an adventure, and keep your faith, and you will do well.
Thank you so very much for that. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We have a lot more coming up today.
Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Here at Rock and Roll Sushi, we're proud to be the original American-style sushi restaurant founded on great food and rock and roll music, boasting concepts and flavors that are big, bold, and loud. We're the only place to experience the rock you love and the rolls you love with the ones you love. Come see for yourself why we're the best sushi experience in town. Find us at 108 Morris Road in Clarksville or visit our website at rockandrollsushi.com.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. We are getting ready to highlight a brewery that is very family friendly. It is in Sparta, Tennessee. To tell us more about it and what you can experience there, we have our Tennessee traveler, Tom Adkinson, to share with us all the information that we need for Happy Trails Brewing Co. there in Sparta. Hey, Tom, thanks for being here.
I'm delighted to be here. It's fun to be with you, and always fun to talk about a brewery.
Heck yes. I was reading some of your article. Again, they have a hef, they have a brown ale. I'm guessing they probably have an IPA on tap. Tell me they have an IPA on tap.
I'm absolutely sure they do.
How was your experience?
The last time I was there, I recall they had about 15 taps.
Okay.
10 of them were from the brewery itself. And then they have others from the region and others from a little bit farther away too. So it's a good beer destination.
What is their story? How did they get going there in Sparta? We were chatting a little bit before we started that it used to be a dry area back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, gosh, almost all of Tennessee was.
Good point.
at least legally dry. But indeed, times have changed. Nice woman named Jessica Upchurch and her husband, Trey, got interested in brewing. They were home brewers, and Jessica decided to get into it seriously. Took a special course through Auburn University and became quite the brewer. And they had to turn themselves into twist themselves in knots to some regard when they started talking the idea of having an in-town brewery in Sparta. Mm-hmm. They went to the city, as I recall her saying, and the city said, "What kind of license do we give for that? We've never done that before." So they were breaking new ground in the business world of White County, and to me it's just kind of funny. In an area that was quite teetotaling a long time ago, there's a brewery directly across the street from the county court.
They are definitely paving the way. You mentioned it's family friendly.
Yes, it is a very casual place. Trivia nights and karaoke and other stuff. And out back, there's a porch to sit on and a fire pit and cornhole boards and places for the kids to mill around. It's a very comfortable place. And the Happy Trails part of the name comes from the fact that part of the state is a big hiking area.
Okay.
So consequently, that's their theme. And it's the hiker crowd that comes in and cools off or celebrates an accomplishment. It's a nice, pleasant place in a small Tennessee town.
Please tell me they have the song Happy Trails to You playing at some point.
I will bet they do.
Do they offer food?
There is a related operation called Trailhead Grub, and it's a modest menu, but they can satisfy you.
Oh, I bet they can. Oh my goodness. Is there anything else that we should know about the the Brewing Co. before we get there?
It's just so easy to reach. I mean, I plug in the name of Happy Trails, or you could just say, take me to the courthouse.
Oh, Tom, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Keep traveling out there.
Always appreciate you, Tom. All right. So you guys, Happy Trails Brewing Co. in Sparta, another spot to visit, especially if you like a good brew. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We have so much more coming up after this.
He shoots and he scores!
Beginning January 1, Delta Dental of Tennessee is introducing enhanced benefits for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
It'll include extra cleaning times for people with special needs, extra time for exams. More importantly, we will create a training program that any dentist office in the state can go online and pick that up.
At Delta Dental, we believe that the quality of oral health care should be accessible and inclusive for all.
Good morning. I'm Monty Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post. You know, MTSU football, it's kind of a what might have been season. The Blue Raiders slipped to 2-6 Tuesday night. Yes, Tuesday night. They played midweek and early week games. Was a 2+ touchdown underdog to Liberty, an outstanding football program, who is now in first place in Conference USA. The Blue Raiders, however, they were tied at the half, 21 all. They went to the fourth quarter, 35 apiece. Upset in the making. Not quite. Mistakes reared their ugly head again. MTSU had 4 drives in the fourth quarter. 2 punts and 2 interceptions. They only gave up 1 touchdown, but it was plenty as Liberty won 42-35. So again, MTSU 2-6. We saw this against Missouri. Quite frankly, had a great chance to win that game. Colorado State, second half mistakes, turnovers. Jacksonville State, 4 second half turnovers, all equating into losses. Coach Rick Stockstill noted Tuesday night that they got beat by a good team. He goes, but we're a good team. Now I can see that from a coach's perspective. He's seeing what potential's there. What might have been, what could have been. Instead, the Blue Raiders are 2-6, and as Coach Bill Parcells said, you are what your record says you are. So the Blue Raiders have 4 games left. They've got about 17 days off, but they got to win all 4 just to get bowl eligible. That's going to be tough because of the inconsistency. They gave up over 400 yards rushing Tuesday night. They really struggled to run the ball themselves, only 96 yards. That's nothing new. So when you are forced to be one-dimensional, mistakes are going to happen. Nick Battiato had a great game for middle other than that. 332 yards passing. He had a great game. But, again, it goes down as a loss. What happens next? Don't know. The Blue Raiders are hard to predict. The only thing you can say, they're probably going to be in all 4 games. The question is, can they close them out? I'm Monty Hale, sports editor of the Murfreesboro Post.